Well, finally, someone beat someone that they were supposed to in this World Cup, although I do think that means that Netherlands were supposed to win this game in hindsight. But India pull off a stunning upset against the Dutch. Welcome back to the Tubs, of course, powered by Cred. Cred Paydays are bringing insane rewards during this World Cup, Pez, and you know with Cred you can pay all your bills with Cred, not just your phone, electricity, your water bill. Perhaps if the catering is up to your standards, perhaps if you're getting served cold sandwiches, you can pay your bill through Cred for a private chef, a private caterer, whatever you want. Gourmet meals, you can pay that bill with Cred. Or if the training facilities are set 42 kilometres away in Blacktown and you think, no, I'm not doing that, you can pay your bill for a private driver through Cred. Pez, did you enjoy the game today?
I did. As you say that, I'm thinking I could have paid a nanny to look after my children, who I'm stewarding through the evening in the realms of safety, etc. Which is why I can't be touching I'm stewarding them through as they sleep, and that's why I can't be touching your leg in the studio tonight, and thus the legs of all of our viewers emotionally by being in studio with you. So I'll consider that using the fintech company Cred to pay for nannies in a foreign exchange scenario in an elongated promotion here. I enjoyed tonight, Higgins. It was a run-of-the-mill victory. The World Cup needed a run-of-the-mill victory. We needed to take a breath a little bit. So why don't we just get into the three things, Higgins, from this glorified centre wicket game for India. The first one is India post a dignified total. 2 for 180 is the sort of thing, and I'm saying it in the Aussie format, is the sort of thing that would be written on a whiteboard before a game. Boys, 2 for 180. That's going to be enough. Let's get
with
the boys
a big fuck off circle around it.
Exactly. Let's just put a score on the board. Give ourselves something to defend. 6 points in a song. Job done. As per. Little bit of a stumble with KL Rahul. Do we need to talk about KL, or is this how KL rolls? Is he going to surprise us just when we write him off? I don't know. Can you read into anything when you're playing against the Netherlands and blokes like Scotty Edwards are coming out to bat at 7? I don't know his heritage at all.
I think KL is just going through one of those trots where he can't even buy one from Rohit down the other end. I saw he was trying to use a bit of currency to exchange some trade off there. If I use one, that means you don't get to use one later. It was slipping down the leg side. I suppose it's just the way it's going for KL Rahul. Maybe it has been going that way when he's been wearing the Indian blue for quite a while, because we've seen the damage he can do in the IPL, and I am talking on the field on this occasion. So he sort of kicks one on middle leg. Like watching it live, it's out enough. Like you said this in the other one of the other reviews. It was morally out. Sure, in legal sense, no, it was actually missing the stumps, and you should not be dismissed that way. It's actually unfair. But it's. He's kicked it. He's kicked it on middle leg. He's just out of nick. He's out of nick. But if the team keeps winning against the Netherlands, then I say he should stay. I think they played the Netherlands twice more in this tournament, so that should be good for everyone concerned, except for the Dutch.
His mate, I think that's good analysis. He goes, his mate Rohit, who was also the captain of his country, which is called India. Now, look, I'm going to get greedy for a second. Obviously, it's 50 for the big bear. It's a 5 and a 0 against his name. But it was laboured. It wasn't fluent. It's not the Rohit I've come to know and love. I go and hug that big old bear and I can smell it. And I think, because when you know someone, you know their smells, and you just think, something's off here. Are you okay, Rohit? In batting terms, right? This is a metaphor for batting. In cricket, that is. But sometimes the bear's got to eat, and he ate tonight. And the family's happy. He brought the food home. We all ate 50.
That smells something. It was just off. Something okay?
When you give someone a hug, you give them a hug, and it's just the limpness, the lifelessness of the hug. Are you okay? Then they're crying on your shoulder, and then they want to get back together with you, and it's a whole different thing.
When the Dutch insult Rohit by opening the bowling with Harry Potter, I mean, come on. Like, don't you want to see 36 of that bad boy? Come on. And I don't want to do some bespectacle shit, but I've just gone for it, and it's just, that's sort of the fun of like playing against the, non-full member nations, in that they're made to look so amateur, as if we could perhaps play in the team like the Netherlands or the Irish. Except if you ever played with or against any of those guys, they'd be the best player you've ever seen in your entire life. But they're made to look shit. Drop catches, overthrows. In the non-execution of the highest level of skills, bad shot selection, things not going their way, but it just all looks a bit village, like the misfields, like tumbling over, just seeing like a little bit too much of the roof. Too much roof above the shirt.
Of course,
Just,
it's a 15% body fat versus a 9% body fat thing. I mean, we're all thinking it. I think India will just about be the worst team in international cricket to play against in that scenario too. Like, you play against an Australia, you play against a Pakistan or an England. Maybe I'll take Pakistan out of that for various reasons, but like, there's still a certain desperation and intensity that's etched over the face of these Anglos, like, whereas, you can have Deepak Hooda take a catch like he's basically, practicing rocking his baby at antenatal classes, before his child's born. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that in a hutch. No problem. Like that was the spirit of the game. India can make you look like this, I think. So, well, welcome to international cricket, Netherlands.
Now, Pez, we're actually introducing cred paydays, and we're trying to discuss beforehand what was a big payday. Now, you mentioned Deepak Hooda's catch there. Now, I don't know what it takes in a man to take a catch and make it look like he's insulted by actually it going and being anywhere near his direction, but that was just, let's get this thing fucking over with. I want to get back to some really shitty catering at the SCG here. Okay, I've had enough of this. Get me off this fucking field. That doesn't manifest in runs, wickets, or even being selected in the 11, but that will... I think that's money in the bank.
That's a payday.
I'm pretty sure. I think that's a payday. To
that end, he goes. We are introducing this every couple of episodes, maybe a couple of India games as well. We've been in touch with Cred. They seem to be happy with what we're doing. We're just putting words in their mouth there, and they may not appreciate that. But they want to give away a whole bunch of memorabilia. If you think about the memorabilia Cred has, there's going to be a fair bit of it floating around. So what we're asking you guys, if you're watching, is to put forward your payday from the match. How are we defining paydays? He goes, basically, lots of things that you wouldn't directly get paid for in the match, but you're going to get a payday for it, aren't you? Hence Deepak Hooda's catch. There's something else I want to mention about that later. Best comment, we'll pin it to the top. Cred will get in touch with you. You're going to get a whole bunch of memorabilia. I'll say later what that memorabilia is, literally on another show, because I can't remember it. This is professional.
I suppose we haven't spent any time talking about Sky's fourth fastest 50 in T20 World Cups for India. Not too many caveats. Doesn't count. That's a rubbish stat.
Sorry, in the
25 balls. Yeah, sorry. I think he's a great player. He might win India the World Cup too. No, doesn't count. Virat Kohli, more runs. He hasn't been dismissed yet in the World Cup. His average is going to be great when he gets out for a duck next game. That's going to be sensational. That's numbers on the board. You can take that to the bank. Sky looks absolutely fucking sensational. He's flicking blokes. He's scooping blokes. He's punching them down the ground. His tattoos are looking really nice. I thought he spoke nicely after the game. Talked about his wife. Get that in as well. He's ticking a lot of boxes.
Teeth.
For me.
He's got chompers. He's at his chompers dusted for sure.
Yeah, he's got
wonderful set of teeth. I'm not saying it's a teeth-based selection, but it's wonderful teeth. Fluid, flowing, 51 off 25, striking at 204. It's the Sky I want to see. Some doubts about his capacity to do it in Australia. He's done it against the Netherlands here on a slow wicket in Sydney. I'm calling that Australia. So Sky's away. I did like at the end of the game, Ravi Shastri, who we're going to tell a story about another time because we had the pleasure of meeting him on Sunday, but let's hold that back. It was a sensational story. But Ravi Shastri commentating at the end, just summing up the game, and he was going through every play. Then he goes, Virat Kohli carrying on his good form from last game. Which I liked because Virat was trying to get Sky to be demonstrative at the end of the innings, wasn't he? Getting him to pump up and stuff, and Sky's like, "Oh, if you say so, Virat, all good, bro." Anyways,
I don't think they make a great synchronised swimming team. And Pez, you were talking about, does this count? I mean, Australia formerly Van Diemen's land, so Dutch first here in the 16th century, so the 17th century or one of the centuries, the Asian century, I don't know. So that actually does count. There's actually a Dutch home game.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There was a lot of blokes sailing around Australia, sort of 16th, 17th, 18th century, having a look at it. There were a couple of blokes here before that, arguably 40 to 60,000 years.
Quite a bit before.
Quite a bit before that. Couple of blokes sailing around, having a look at it. Dutch, French, English, all having a crack. As was their want, back in the
couple
time.
of coats.
Back in the day.
Red coats, blue coats.
Whatever it is, and here we are. Anyway, thank you to Henry Berry and Jane Pine who came out here, convicts. Jane Pine was Irish, had 10 kids, died, given the 10th kid. They changed their name from Berry to Perry. I might have been related to Darren Berry. Second thing, he goes... Then the second thing, then the bowlers have a centre wicket. So I guess the moment for me that summed up this centre wicket was probably... was Bhuvika, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, bowling a wonderful delivery that essentially, and almost, let's say literally, if balls could kiss, it kissed the off bail. And his response to that ball kissing the off bail, a sumptuous little kiss. Just his response was no emotion, cold, but almost paying homage to the sandwiches that were served in Western Sydney yesterday. Our third reference to cold sandwiches.
Yeah, well, I want to give a special mention to Vikramjit Singh, who made one of the worst ones off 9 balls that you'll see in this World Cup so far. Then he gets bowled trying to pull a half volley, but he can hold his head high for attending the fixture. I really like the look of Max O'Dowd. I call him the Dutch Bukowski. He looked okay. Couple of nice cover drives, and then we understand more the relationship of Axar Patel and the Stumps, and we believe now that he has been friend zoned.
So Harsha, it appears, has... So if you didn't watch the game, which I'd be very surprised, Harsha's commentary was that was once Axar Patel again hit the stumps. Harsha said, once again, Axar's friendship with the stumps. And I thought, wow. So Harsha's obviously E-News, entertainment reporter news on Axar's ongoing relationship with the stumps, which I believe he essentially intimated the first time around that this was an affair that he was having. and under pressure, Harsha's clarified that this relationship with the stumps is just platonic. It's just a friendship.
Yep.
Now, I watched that ball cannon into the stumps, and that's not what I saw. That is not what I saw. I saw more than friendship. I saw electricity, literally, with the zing bails. I saw something more than friendship. So I don't know. In Australia, we call this Harsha possibly playing silly buggers, but. Yep. I don't think it's a friendship Axar Patel has with the Stumps, but it's the Axar I've come to know and love, and I loved what I saw. And we will have to clarify with Harsha whether he's saying on the record that this is just a friendship.
Interesting. Anything else you want to take away from the innings? I mean, all the spinners did well. Arshdeep Singh could have got a hat-trick, make this game interesting, but he didn't, so failure. Everyone bowled well. Anything else?
DK missed 2 stumpings. Obviously, toys out the pram. He's out of the team. Rishabh's in, and apologies. No, he'll be fine. We've talked about Huda's catch. Was Mo Shami, while Huda was on, was Mo Shami sitting in the dugout in his Havianas again? That's probably another one I wanted to clarify. I don't know who was off for that. But it was just a centre wicket for India. They're fine. They were just keeping fit. Final thing. He goes, any other business? Shariz, I think for the Dutch was good. I've got. He's probably all but guarantees a slot in the semis for India, though not mathematically. The question being, can India avoid the heavyweights of New Zealand? And I saw that a bloke proposed, and it was successful. And I just think every time. Doing it on air, bro. Is that what she wants? I hope she wanted that. That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah, exhibitionist, man. I don't know. I saw a lot of people eating cake as well, like actual full cakes. How do they get that into the ground? How do you get a full cake into the ground?
That's a great question.
And I'm not talking about Pajara's ass either. I'm not talking about that's a full cake. He's bringing an absolute wagon.
I'm not talking about going the distance by the band cake.
I think in other business, there's a big game tomorrow night. It's probably going to get washed out because it's wet as fucking Melbourne. Riley Rousseau hit 100 earlier in the day. Matt Wade's got COVID.
Oh, yeah.
That I think we're patient zero. It's all coming up TGC. Hashtag AskTGC. Kashagra wrote in, hashtag AskTGC. You interviewed Topley and he's out with an ankle. You interviewed Zampa and he's out with COVID. What kind of black magic have you got going on there? And should we expect Harsha Bogle to get a larynx infection just before the grand final?
Okay, firstly, you don't ever call it a grand final. All right, I know that's not the question, but please don't use that. Just don't use that linguistic flourish when it comes to cricket, or it gets smashed with this footy. And now a lot of people in India are like, "What the fuck are they talking about?" Not for the first time, I'd imagine. It's been levelled at us that we continue to injure people, whether through sickness, disease, physiological injuries, or whatnot. The next target is Joss Butler. I attempted to get an interview with him before tomorrow. It was unsuccessful, so that was good for him. We talked to Watto today, so Watto's going down, I suppose. And yeah, if you are around the MCG tomorrow and you want to get sick and miss work on Monday, we're doing side mouth outside the ground. I'm envisaging a different affair to India v Pakistan for side mouth. That is probably less passion and more dysfunctional relationships with alcohol. But usually that's a pretty good combination anyway.
100%. And you know what, Pez? My main takeaway from this game is that I really enjoyed that it was on a good time for the Perth audience. See you guys tomorrow.